pre-national conference rubber-stamp parliament. This was not acceptable to those who had their vote by virtue of being elected to the conference, not chosen by the official party of the dictator. However, the political pressure combined with physical intimidation resulted in the acceptance of this arrangement. A general principle of building a new state might well be postulated that when elements whose status depends on military force are included in a coalition government, eventually, power will come from the barrel of the guns. This is what happened at the last national conference. This is how the dictatorship remained in power and how the attempt to create the rule of law was destroyed. This same coalition approach was applied in Sierra Leone. The disastrous results are then used to argue that the local politicians are incapable of responsible government. Another compelling example of the need for a military-backed dictatorship with its oh-so-regrettable but supposedly traditional corruption and oppression. As the international dialogue over the Congo's future takes shape, those who speak for the Congolese will have little opportunity to be heard under this scenario. Their voice will be discounted from the start. To avoid this, they must try to shape the debate in favor of a government based in law by setting the criteria for legitimacy, one that will keep special interests from sneaking tyranny in the back door. When the new American Republic was just beginning, its first leaders complained bitterly of the swarms of office seekers that smothered nearly every action of the new state. It is a minority that works for the good of the majority in such situations. In order to cast the widest possible net, the Democratic opposition has arrived at a united front program that centers on replacing the dictatorship with representative government. This is based on the argument that even the most self-centered fortune hunter will have more opportunity within a democratic political structure. Only those with a vested interest in the kleptocracy would reject this minimum goal. All who have a genuine commitment to Congo as an independent state, it is asserted, must agree to unite. From this perspective, the only justified political disputes for the future are ones which can ultimately be settled by free elections. A country as underdeveloped as Congo is not capable of immediately producing an organized democratic elective system. Questions of legitimacy are therefore particularly sensitive. Any aspiring political figure may be suspected of putting family or ethnic interests first. The populace universally understands this, at least as far as the other person's loyalties are concerned. In order to appeal to the nationalist sentiment, the democratic forces had to develop an explicitly pan-tribal political program. The UDPS has been by far the most successful political movement in the history of Congo at attaining this goal. The party has worked hard to provide opportunity for all groups to participate in building a new nation. In addition, Dr. Tshisekedi has made clear his refusal to accept authority by any non-constitutional means. What about the non-democratic forces? Principal among these is the current regime. Joseph Kabila claims his position by right of succession. His father was selected by Congo's neighbors to act as a frontman. The leader of Uganda planned and coordinated the invasion. The well-trained, mostly Tutsi tribal forces had already successfully captured Rwanda. They advanced into eastern Congo with no resistance, other than the Congolese army, a force trained only in terrorizing its own countrymen. No great hard-fought victory was won. These invaders do not become legitimate claimants to power for having financed their activities with the wealth of Congo. It is these mineral riches that are sustaining the foreign armies, whether by outright self-funding foreign intervention or by the Hutu militia fleeing from their murderous destruction in Rwanda. This wealth should instead be devoted to addressing the damage done to the Congolese and addressing the world's interest in developing Congo fairly, in a broadly profitable, environmentally responsible way. It is American leadership that is urgently required at this stage. A cynical special interest policy would be unworthy of national political values. Bitter